Sometimes you see people with so many jewelry pliers, and when you're starting out, you might be thinking, oh my god, which ones do I need to buy? Are they all essential? What do you freaking even use them for? So in this video, I'm going to talk through the essential pliers you need when you're starting out with jewelry. So let's get into it. My name is Megan, and I'm a jewelry designer maker from South Africa, now living in Europe. For the last 7 years, I've been selling my jewelry all around the world in shops, boutiques, and exhibitions. At the end of 2021, I took a huge leap of faith. I quit my 9-to-5 job in London, moved to Belgium, and started a coaching business. Follow along as I share my experience and take you through the day-to-day of being a jewelry designer, from making to running a successful jewelry brand. In this video, I am going to talk through my 5 top pairs of pliers and what you can do with them. Make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to show you how to make a pair of elegant silver earring hooks just using pliers. So first up, we've got round nose pliers. So when you are buying round nose pliers, or any pliers for that matter, make sure that you buy the ones that have the automatic spring mechanism of some sort, so they spring back into place, because like these ones, they're just so much more of a hassle to work with, so I would recommend making sure that you get ones with that. Round nose pliers are amazing for making your own jump rings. So this can save you a lot of money, and also if you need really specific size jump rings, then these are great. So let's hop onto the bench and I'm going to show you how to use them. Before I show you how to use the round nose pliers though, I need to tell you guys about these side cutters. So these ones are super handy, especially for just when you need to make a fast little cut of something, but obviously you need to remember that that is going to leave a really pointy, sharp bit on it, so you'll need to file that down afterwards. But when you're just making a rough cut and you just need to cut a piece of something really quickly, wire mainly, then these ones are really good for that. So I'm going to show you guys how to make the jump rings, starting off with some 1mm Eco Silver here. So let's grab a piece of that and show you how to do it. Right, so to make these jump rings, you need to remember that if you squeeze really tight, then it is going to dent the wire. So be as gentle as you can while holding things in place. So first up, what you need to do is have a look along the length of the nose and decide what sort of size jump rings you'd like to make. So obviously further down this end is going to give you with bigger ones or little ones right in the front. So what we're going to do is position the wire in the pliers. I'm going to go for like a mid sort of size over there, and then using my thumb I'm going to push so it's flush with the edge there, and I'm going to push and twist the pliers away from me. What you want to do now is make sure that when you take your hand out and you rearrange, you want to make sure that you're going to wrap the wire on the inside of the edge of that tip there. So not on the outside there, but on the inside here. The reason for that is that your jump rings are going to be the same size then always, otherwise they're going to get smaller and smaller. So we don't want to be doing that. So just gently squeeze there and rotate. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, and your thumb against the pliers there, and don't squeeze too hard. You really don't need to squeeze too hard. You just keep on pinching and grabbing and going round and round. So it's always good to make a bunch, make more, wrap it around more than you need, because some of them on the end aren't going to be full jump rings. So I'm going to stop with that, making sure that overlaps there, and see how those are all the same size now. So what I'm going to do now is use my side cutters, flush cutters also called, and just give that a snip off. But you see how it kind of pinches the metal and makes it really pointy and sharp. So we're going to discard this end anyway, so that doesn't matter. Right, so now that we've got our little spiral, we're going to put them onto the saw here. So what you want to do is hold it as tight as you can. If you want, you can use some masking tape just to like stick it together, but I just pinch it together tightly. But get a good strong grip, make sure that you don't move, and then the idea is that you cut through where the overlap is. So you cut through where the overlap of the excess bit is, and try and cut through one at a time. So we want to have the blade quite upright and then cut through one at a time. The reason for doing this is that sometimes it slips and then you start a cut and then you don't get in the same place. Pinch them together. Now start to come off. But just when they drop, then just try and make sure you start exactly in the same place, in the same groove. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little bits on the end that came off. But we have 4 lovely jump rings, and I'm going to show you how to use the other pliers now that we have those. Now that we've got our jump rings, I'm going to show you the next 2 amazing pairs of pliers that are really helpful, especially when you're using jump rings to attach things to chains or anything like that. So we have got pointy nose pliers, which are also called chain nose pliers. So they are flat inside and pointy on the top like that. So not to be mistaken with another pair of pliers, which you get very often in hardware stores, which have teeth inside. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but they've got sharp little ridged teeth. So obviously that's going to indent your metal and leave marks everywhere. So you don't want those ones. Same shape though, but make sure that they are specifically jewelry pliers. So when you buy pliers, especially these pointy nose pliers and these pliers, which are the flat nose pliers, they are often very sharp along the edge here. So you kind of need to break them in a little bit by filing down and sanding this really sharp bit here. So another way you can also get around it is just using a piece of polishing cloth or something in between, so when you are using them, because sometimes these pliers are also really useful to grab different things and manipulate. Like if you got a ring that's really thick and you're trying to just line it up and you can't quite do it with your fingers, then you can do that. But just make sure then that either you've broken them in, because otherwise you're going to see they're going to kind of cut into the metal and leave really deep grooves and gouges, which obviously will then be a pain to file and sand and get rid of later. So you always want to try and use them as gently as possible. So I'm going to show you guys how to break these in if you've just bought a new pair. So let's do that. So breaking these in is really simple. All you need is a needle file and some sandpaper. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now that I'm finished with the file, I'm just going to smooth that out so it doesn't have any little sharp bits on it. So I've got my little sandpaper wrapped around one of my little triangular sticks, which is an absolute game changer, and I love it. So just use that and smooth things out a bit. When you have cut your jump rings, then you need to see how well you've cut. So have a look and see if it's nice and flat on both sides and it looks like one facet, and the sides are both gonna line up well. So check it out by grabbing your flat nose and your pointy nose pliers and then wiggle them together. So what you want to do is kind of like push them together and almost a little bit past each other. So I kind of push them a bit this way and then kind of click it back on top, if that kind of makes sense, if you understand what I mean. So you want to have a little bit of tension between the two, and because it's wire, it has like an elastic memory, so it always will kind of bounce back a little bit. So check if they line up nice and flush like that, then you're good. But if they don't, then open up your jump ring. So it's really, really important that you never open your jump ring this way, because that's going to completely misshape it. So what you want to do is open it sideways, as wide as you need, and then you can file it. But I actually did that the wrong way because I'm right-handed, so I am going to twist it this way, so with the right side closer to me, because then I can easily hold that and then file that top there and then turn that over and file that top there. But I'm not going to do it because it does already line up. But remember, pull the side, your dominant hand side forwards so that you can access that better, and so that keeps the full shape of the circle without distorting anything. So then you can easily just put it back together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this one first actually, and then let's make a little chain with these guys. So like that, and then I'm going to open up this one. So it's a little bit tough to do with your fingers, but you can much easier move them around with your pliers. So do that, and then open it up again, and then feed whatever it is through. I'm just doing this because I have these jump rings, but whatever you need to put it on, a chain or anything, and then kind of push them past each other a little, and then click them on to each other a little bit past, and make sure that they line up nice and straight so that they're not going to scratch anybody or anything. So check it from different angles and just wiggle them about until they're nice and snug and looking good. So yeah, basically that's what you do. And if they're not quite lining up that way, what you can do is give it a little bit of a squeeze on top there like that. Mind your fingers though, sometimes it slips. Just a gentle little squish, and there you go. So that should do the trick. I'm not going to bother putting those ones on there, you guys get the idea. So that is really, really handy to have these two pliers in conjunction with each other for doing all kinds of things with jump rings. Number 5 are these lovely, gorgeous parallel pliers. So if you look at them, you see that both of the pointy ends go continuously parallel no matter at what point, whereas other pliers, for example, I'll show you, these ones, they are not parallel, so they come closer together here and they're further away there, so they're at an angle. So the reason why these parallel pliers are great are for, sometimes you need to just be able to hold something in place as well. I particularly use these if I'm drilling something really small, so it's a much more secure grip if I'm holding it like this, because it'll be held in place the whole way along the length of the point, I guess you'd call it. So for example, let me show you when I'm drilling this small little thing, because when you're drilling a hole in something really small, especially if the metal's quite thick, it can get quite hot. So when you're drilling, just a side note, it's always good to make a little mark where you want your hole to be. This is just a little scrap, so I'm just going to show you. Duck like that to make just a little dent. Don't hit it too hard, else it misshapes the whole metal. Then what I like to do is to grab this with my parallel pliers, and then I can hold it quite sturdy, so that isn't going to go anywhere. And then on the edge of the wooden block here, I line it up with where it's going to go. Once you've lined it up, so just find exactly the right spot that you've lined it up with, and the pliers give you a really nice strong grip, and then switch it on. And because obviously this piece of metal is going to get really hot and be really hard to hold that, these parallel pliers are just great. The part you guys have been waiting for is using these 4 pliers to make your earring hooks. So pointy nose, chain nose pliers, round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, and side cutters. So let's get to it. So first up, I'm going to use 0.8 mil wire, so silver wire, it's hard wire, and I'm going to make small hooks. So I'm going to use 5 centimeters, and I'm just going to mark that up there, and then I'm going to snip that off. First set of pliers, snip that off. So first up, we're going to use the round nose pliers, and we're going to decide what sort of size little loop you want on the end. So I would suggest go relatively close to the front, so fairly small. So we want to have the curve facing down like that, the natural curve of the wire. Have the end flush with the pliers, thumb against the pliers like we did with the jump rings, and push against, twist, and then take it out, and you can complete that circle so that it goes all the way up like that. So you're going to end up with something that looks like that. Now we're going to switch to our pointy nose or chain nose pliers, grab inside that circle there, and then we're going to push up. So we're holding on the long piece, push up against that wire. Always push as flat against the pliers so that you don't bend it randomly out of shape, and you want to basically create a shape like that. Now that you've bent that like that, we want to take the round nose pliers all the way up to the top, and then you're going to kind of guess where halfway is. So I kind of want it a little bit more this way, or pretty much in the middle is fine too. So now what you want to do is make sure that the circle is parallel this way and your curve is facing down, and then fingers on either side nice and flush against your pliers, and you're going to push both sides down. If you push one side only, it's going to make the one side longer than the other side. So we've already estimated that this is the middle. Push down evenly on both sides. Don't squeeze too hard with the pliers, and then we're going to have our little hoop shape. Next, what we want to do is to grab the flat pliers, and then we're going to pinch the end like that and just give it a little flick up, finger against the wire there, flick up. If it's skew, like I've done here intentionally to show you, then you can twist it a little bit this way or that way just to wiggle it into shape if needs be. So look at it from the front, see if you need to adjust anything there. And then essentially what you're going to do when you attach this to your earring that you've made, we're going to open it sideways like you did with the jump rings so that you don't misshape that. So open that sideways like that, hook whatever it is inside. I'm just going to put these on just to show you, and then we can make sure it stays in there and then close that off. Give it a little squish if needs be to make sure that the gap on the top is not too big. So a little gentle squish towards itself. Sometimes a little squish down this way helps as well. And voila, there's your earring hook. If you want to have a wider loop here, you can always wrap it around like a pen or something else to make it bigger, but I quite like these shapes like that. And then what you just need to do is to file the end of this so that it's not sharp and dangerous in the ear, and then you're basically done. Well, those are my top 5 pliers. Obviously you can go in depth with more pliers. You get ones with nylon heads, you get ones with bent noses, you get all kinds of different ones. But to be honest, these ones I bought when I started and they've served me fantastically. I did buy the parallel pliers a little bit later on, but yeah, you can get away with using those 5 pairs pretty much for anything. If you guys found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you would like to subscribe, because I see that 58% of you guys watching are not actually subscribed. So the way that it works is it really helps the algorithm if you do subscribe, because it pushes the content out to more viewers, which obviously then means that I can help more jewelry designers like yourself, help them along their way when they're starting out and figuring out what the hell to do next and figuring out all of the things that you need to learn when you're starting out. So if you would like to, it means the world to me, and also liking and commenting. I always appreciate it, and I make an effort to reply to each and every one of you guys. I really do truly appreciate all of your amazing comments. Like genuinely, you guys, it's so heartwarming to read your comments and hear that I am actually helping you guys, because sometimes I'm not sure what I'm putting out there, and then it's just really nice to have that feedback. So I appreciate all of you guys and your thoughtful comments so much. So anyway, wishing you guys a beautiful, lovely rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week in another video. Bye.